Welcome to the Acropolis Rally. It's been a fast and furious start to round 8 of the World Rally Championship. Marcus Gronholm took the early lead after the second stage, despite being the first car on the road. But it was short-lived, as Chris Atkinson put in a stunning stage time to jump from 6th to 1st on stage 3. There was more good news for Subaru, with Peter Solberg moving into 2nd overall midway through the day. But in the afternoon, Gronholm hits back, finally retaking the lead after stage 7. For world champion Loeb, it was a relatively quiet day. He dropped to 7th after the second stage and only worked his way as high as 4th by the end of play. But he's just 10 seconds off first place, so there's plenty more to come. Danny Sordo had a great start in the second Citroën, leading his teammate for most of the day. He starts 6th. Ford's Mikko Hirvonen had a topsy-turvy day. He was as high as 2nd and then as low as 6th. On the final stage, he nicked 5th from Sordo and starts the day just 0.4 of a second ahead of the Spaniard. For the others, it was a rough and tough day. Jari-Matti Latvala clipping a bank but surviving. He starts in 8th. Omoava making his debut in the WRC and a Mitsubishi didn't fare so well. He was down in 14th before this happened. So this is how they line up after one of the closest days rallying in years. Gronholm leads by just over 8 seconds from Solberg and Atkinson. Loeb is 4th, 7/10 behind Atkinson, with Hirvonen just half a second behind him in 5th. Sordo is 0.4 back in 6th. In fact, just 10.7 seconds separates the top 6 after 106 kilometers of racing. But today will provide big changes as the crews have to negotiate a 48-kilometer stage twice. In all, there's 7 stages and a super special today, giving the crews 145 kilometers of rough and tough Greek terrain to cover. But they're all talking about the long one, the first of the day, and repeated as stage 14, Agi Theodori. And the reason they're all talking about it is that at 48 kilometers, this is a classic Acropolis challenge. It's long, hot, and rough. Danny Sordo's away into the stage, so let's get straight back to that intense fight in the top 6. The Spaniard begins in 6th place, but only 0.4 of a second behind Hirvonen. On this long stage, though, there's a real chance to make up some time and the real possibility of hitting problems. Hirvonen's next into the stage. Finn will be hoping to stay in touch with the leaders as well as keeping Sordo behind. Mikko's already pushing very hard. Oh, and he's off! He carried way too much speed into that right-hander and flew off into the undergrowth. He was very lucky not to hit a tree there. The impact has smashed his windscreen, which will be distracting. And of course, as he drags the focus back onto the road, the clock is still ticking, and this is a terrible start to the day for Mikko. A bit of a discussion with Jarmo Lehtinen there. It was actually a late pace note that led to that off. Citroën's Danny Sordo is still very much in the mix in the top 6. Following Hirvonen's mistake, the Spaniard will move ahead of the Finn again here and at least into 4th place. As expected, Agi Theodori's proving a real challenge. So, a crucial test ahead for Sordo's teammate Sebastian Loeb. The world champion took a long time to find his rhythm, but he's only 10 seconds behind the leader, and a strong start today could easily eat that gap up. Moving on to the top 3 runners now, Chris Atkinson is already well into the stage. He's been a frustrated man recently as he struggled to get the best from the new Impreza, but here in Greece, he's been back to his best. But hold on, something's wrong here. He's got a puncture, and the Moose system designed to keep the wheels inflated has not been sufficient to maintain the Australian's pace. He's losing a lot of time here. Peter Solberg is also into the stage. What a terrific start it was for Subaru yesterday, with both drivers starting leg 2 in podium positions. These are promising times for the Japanese manufacturer. Peter's teammates' problems, though, are a reminder that there's still a long way to go. Very very few drivers making it through this car-breaking stage unscathed then. For the leading trio, it's going to be an intense 48 kilometres. Here's rally leader Marcus Gronholm. He brings a lead of 8.3 seconds to the second leg. Petter Solberg, meanwhile, will keep attacking while he has a chance to challenge for his first win in a year and a half.
Must keep into the grass. The cut strike, right strike, left 44, right minus, tightens 1+ blanc.
There's a bit of hanging dust around here, though. It's been left by his teammate Chris Atkinson, who's still struggling with that puncture. Petter needs to concentrate more than ever on those pace notes from co-driver Phil Mills.
30, 2 left minus, tightens 1, 50.
Ahead on the road, things have not improved for Atkinson. He's actually got 2 punctures, and what a disappointing start to the day it's turning into for the Subaru driver. Struggling to control the car there. He's almost reduced to a crawl now as he nears the finish. He clears the stage, but almost 2 minutes have been lost, and it's clear to see why Chris has plummeted down the leaderboard.
The tyre went down, like, no impact, nothing. I don't know why.
You didn't hit anything? You didn't see anything?
Nothing.
And understandably disappointed Atkinson there. Then that left front wheel's completely destroyed, and now he's even struggling to get the car moving. Rallying really can be cruel at times, from leading the rally to this. Sebastian Loeb started the day 7/10 of a second behind Atkinson and just under 10 seconds behind the rally leader. The Citroën driver will be determined to chase down Gronholm today. With the 2 Subaru men hitting problems, the Frenchman has a chance to move up the leaderboard. He'll easily pass the struggling Atkinson, and if he can beat that target time, he'll move ahead of Solberg too. It's going to be very close. Oh, not quite. Loeb's now third, just 0.3 of a second behind the Norwegian. With Petter losing some time, this is also a chance for Gronholm to pull away. He's closing on the finish boards now, so we're about to get an indication who's made the best start this morning. Well, there's the yellow boards. Marcus is clearly going to be a lot faster. Yes, a great stage for Gronholm. 11.8 seconds quicker than Solberg, and that pretty much doubles his lead. A good start to the day for Gronholm then. Solberg, though, was actually quickest in the early part of that stage. Using virtual spectator here, you can see after 15 kilometres, he's ahead of both Gronholm and Loeb, and looks to be on his way to setting the fastest time. Hanging dust from Chris Atkinson's car, though, hampered those chances in the latter part of the stage. And as we go back to virtual spectator, you can see that Gronholm sets the fastest time, but look how much time Solberg's lost. He's even slower than Loeb. Instead of challenging Gronholm's lead, Solberg ended up losing out, but that really could have been so different were it not for that drop-off in pace over the last few kilometres. As expected, there's a very different look to the leaderboard after that bruising stage. Gronholm still leads, now with an advantage of over 20 seconds, while Loeb is now third and breathing down the neck of Petter Solberg. Atkinson has plummeted from 3rd to 7th. A quick regroup next, and a chance for the crews to attempt to cool off under the scorching Athenian sun, while those caught out by Agi Theodori have a chance to assess the damage.
I drove the 10K, which is a bit of a risk here, but we dropped probably less time than changing it, so it worked out that way. I think it's okay. Obviously there's a guard missing, but apart from that, I think it's all right.
In this service, you can change certain things. Is a windscreen something you can change?
No, we can only change some things which we have already in the car. And well, this time we didn't have a windscreen in it, so it's going to be very tricky now for next 2 stages. But no, that's how it is.
Remote service, you can help the lads work on the car. Have you been helping?
No, I mean looking, because there is not so much to do, so it's okay.
You look fairly happy at the moment.
Yeah, it's okay. The lead is not big, but it's good in that we are in front anyway.
Gronholm in front for now then, but will he stay there? Find out after the break. Welcome back to Greece for the second leg of the Acropolis rally. 3 more stages to come before the midday service in what's already been an eventful start to the day. Grönholm currently leads just over 20 seconds ahead of Petter Solberg. Sebastian Loeb will hope to continue the good pace he's already shown this morning. The stage is much twistier and more technical than the faster flowing roads we had yesterday, and that should suit Loeb's precise driving style. He doesn't disappoint. The world champion wins stage 11 and moves ahead of Petter Solberg. Marcus Grönholm will no doubt be monitoring the split times of his championship rival. The Finn is second fastest through Loutraki and is now just under 20 seconds ahead of Sebastian. Frustration for Solberg then after losing second place to Loeb on stage 11, but this is a man in resurgent form this weekend, and he responds immediately, winning stage 12 to move back ahead. So it's the Subaru man who's closest to rally leader Marcus Grönholm again then. The Finn clearly not having it all his own way. He's under intense pressure from both Solberg and Loeb. Oh, and he's got that corner completely wrong. He's forced to reverse back onto the road after overshooting that junction, and that was a costly mistake. He's 4.7 seconds slower than Petter in stage 12. Henrik Solberg, meanwhile, has had a steady, if unspectacular rally so far. He's currently 6th, but after arriving a minute late at the time control of stage 12, he incurs a 10-second penalty and falls behind Chris Atkinson. Danny Sordo's had a strong start today too. The Spaniard has been setting consistent times all morning and looking good for another fine result. But there's something clearly wrong here. That doesn't sound good. He seems unable to get the car into gear. What a disappointment. He's forced to pull over. This could be the end of the day for Danny and co-driver Mark Marty. They're soon out of the car to check the damage, and it's definitely a terminal problem. Working on what looks like the front left drive shaft there, but whatever the cause, that's the end of a fine run of results for Sordo. The leaderboard showing no sign of settling then after the short stage 13. Solberg's now 15.8 seconds behind rally leader Grönholm. Loeb's 3.9 seconds behind Petter. With Sordo out though, Kievanen replaces him in 4th, and Atkinson's also moved up to 5th. Back at the service, and all thoughts are on the second run through the Agi Theodori stage.
The long stage, you know, everything can happen, and we just have to see how it goes and follow the splits a little bit. And because if we go absolutely mad there, I think it's very quick to retire, you know.
Marcus, 16 seconds isn't much going into this stage, is it?
No, it's not much. When we know that it's a 48K, so it will be tough.
Is this stage make or break for the whole rally? If you come out leading, do you think that's pretty much it?
No, not really. If I'm leading, yes, a lot, then it's okay, but I don't think so. It will be hard for the tires and the tire wear now, so we have to look after that a bit.
You were beaten by 12 seconds on this long stage this morning. You can't afford to let that happen this afternoon, can you?
It will be very difficult, but this afternoon can happen on a lot of things. It will be a very difficult stage, very long, very difficult for the tires, so we'll see what happens.
On to the second run through Agi Theodori at over 48 kilometres long. It's actually the longest stage of the entire season and has already caught a few out this morning. Henrik Solberg's currently 6th, just 3 seconds behind Chris Atkinson. The Stobart VK4 driver's not quite been a match for the pace setters this weekend. Even so, it's been another steady display from the Norwegian. And it's a good performance from Henning on stage 14. He's 4th fastest and closest within 2 seconds of Atkinson. Here's Sebastian Loeb now on the start line. The world champion is unaccustomed to having Petter Solberg interrupting his familiar duel with Marcus Grönholm, but he's certainly got a fight on his hands today. This treacherous stage is all about finding a balance between caution and outright speed. And Seb's looking typically composed so far here. Mikko Hirvonen had a lucky escape through this stage earlier, and that off all but ended his hopes of catching the leading trio. The Finn is now over a minute adrift of Loeb, and with Atkinson over 50 seconds behind, he has little incentive to attack here. Petter Solberg, though, is for once very much at the sharp end.
Into cut shot heavy left tighten.
It's taken a long time, but finally the team's hard work seems to be paying off, and the Norwegian will be praying that he makes it through this long stage unscathed.
Right tightens 2. 30. 6 left plus. 18. Plus left to the crest 1.
Back with Loeb, though, and the Frenchman's been flying. Through the early splits, he's been much quicker than his rivals, and he could challenge Solberg's runner-up spot. It was always a gamble attacking these rough roads at such high speeds, though, and unfortunately, it's not paid off for Seb. He gets 2 punctures near the end of the stage and loses a lot of time.
Sebastian, puncture on the front right, the front left's destroyed as well. How long have you driven?
8 kilometers like this. Since 8 kilometers, I feel it's finished. I have absolutely no steering, and the tire was exploding.
Good news for Petter, but even better news for championship leader Marcus Gronholm. He knows only too well, though, that this rally could still catch him out. He needs to keep up his concentration. Attacking hard through Achi Theodori again here. He'll be scanning the road ahead for any rocks in his racing line, as well as focusing on the pace notes from Timo Rautiainen. Back with Solberg now, and like Loeb, he's been unable to come through this stage completely undamaged. The Norwegian has broken his front left damper, and it's making the final few kilometres a very bumpy ride. He too is losing time, but who'll lose the most? Petter with the damaged damper, or Loeb with his puncture?
Slide left to 5 right.
Here come the finish board. Solberg is going to beat Loeb. Yes, another 8.9 seconds gained. The gap between second and third, now 13.6.
Yeah.
Both his closest rivals are in trouble then, so if Marcus can keep it together to the finish, this will be a significant moment for the rally leader. Gronholm is still attacking right to the finish, hoping to press home his advantage, and we're about to find out how much time he's gained through here. He's definitely going to be a lot faster than Petter. Yes, what a great stage for the Finn. Nearly 20 seconds faster than Solberg. His lead now 35.7. So after stage 14, Marcus has a very healthy advantage in front. Loeb's still third, but it remains to be seen if that damaged damper will cause Solberg more problems. He still has 3 stages to negotiate before service. Further back, Jan Kopecky has moved up to 7th. So more frustration for world champion Sebastian Loeb in Athens, but Petter Solberg could be in trouble too. The conclusion of day 2 of the Acropolis rally coming up after the break. Welcome back to the Acropolis rally. It's been an action-packed day, and before we return to the stages, let's catch up with some of the lower runners. For Brit Matthew Wilson, it's been a steady day. He's regularly been posting 10 for 11 fastest times. After 14 stages, he's 10th overall, behind fellow Brit Guy Wilkes. Wilkes is making his 3rd appearance in a WRC car this season. So far, he's failed to finish an event, so all his emphasis is making it to the end. All the same, he's worked his way up the leaderboard and is 9th, just 12.5 seconds behind Manfred Stoll, going into stage 15. For Stoll, though, it's been another frustrating rally. He just hasn't been able to post any competitive times. He is at least in the points in 8th, but he'll need someone to make a mistake if he's to rise any further. pace ahead of him is Czech driver Jan Kopecky in a Skoda. He started the day 12th overall, but has quietly worked his way up the leaderboard, making the most of the problems of some of the other drivers. One of those drivers is Jari-Matti Latvala. His day has been blighted by punctures in both of the long stages. He lost 4 minutes on stage 10 and then another 10 minutes on stage 14. It's been a day to forget for the young Finn. Another driver trying to gain some experience is Ermo Arva, making his WRC debut in a Mitsubishi. Arva normally competes in the Junior Championship, but he's secured a 4-rally deal in the Lancer. It's been a struggle for the Estonian. He's 17th overall. On to the final pair of stages before another run through the popular super special stage at the Equestrian Centre, and it's all looking very good for rally leader Marcus Gronholm, but Solberg will be concerned. He's just 13.6 seconds ahead of Loeb with a damaged front damper. That's not the only position still being fought over this afternoon, though. Henning Solberg finishes the day strongly. He's third fastest on stage 15 and overtakes Chris Atkinson to claim 5th. And joining Sebastian Loeb now, the news may have filtered through that Petter could be in trouble. The Frenchman's pushing hard here on stage 15. He claims the fastest time and closes to 4.5 seconds behind Petter. Despite his healthy lead, Gronholm is showing no sign of easing off. With the second fastest time on stage 15, his lead is now just under 42 seconds. For Petter Solberg, though, it's becoming a very frustrating afternoon. Unable to repair that damper fully in the regroup before these stages, his Impreza is obviously still not in full working order. He's over 23 seconds off the pace and slips behind Loeb to third. Teammate Chris Atkinson's also in trouble again on stage 16. He's already slipped behind Henning Solberg and now has his own damper problems, which causes his drive shaft to break. He loses another 1.5 minutes. A frustrating end to a day that started so promisingly for Subaru, but it could have been even worse for the Australian, with one scary moment almost ending in disaster. Ford, though, will be delighted with their day. Mikko Hirvonen is still looking comfortable in fourth, while Marcus Gronholm is on course for his second consecutive win. He now has a lead of 44 seconds. No change in positions on the super special stage that finishes the day. Gronholm's lead was shaved slightly, but he'll sleep well tonight with a lead of more than 43 seconds. Solberg will no doubt have a real go at regaining second from Loeb, but with 24.3 seconds to make up, it's not an easy task.
Petter, what happened in stage 16?
My damper broke, quite simple. Lost the chance for winning the rally. We had also a very good tire choice for the stage because we had harder than the other guys. We maybe lost a little bit of performance early on the stage, but at the end it would have been very good because we had more tread left. But unfortunately it happened and we have to drive with a broken damper for the last 3 stages, and we lost a lot of time. Lost the second place and lost a chance to win the rally.
It was a really hard day. It's the second pass in the long stage. We had a good speed. In the middle of the stage, we were faster than Marcus and Petter, a lot faster than Petter, and then we had a puncture and we lost everything on the 5-6 last kilometer. I lost 30 seconds. So since that, then the fight with Marcus for the victory is finished, and in the 2 next stages it was okay. Now the feeling with the car is good, but it's too late.
It's nice for you to be able to drive to Sebastian's splits tomorrow, really.
Yeah, okay, but yeah, that's true. Still 4 stages to drive, so it's still going on the fight.
The Acropolis rally has been a real thriller so far, and there is still nearly 80 kilometres to run on day 3. You can keep up to date with all the latest news and results on WRC.com, and we'll be back tomorrow for the final act in Greece. For now, though, it's goodbye.